It's not always easy to start the conversation. This week, we sit down with former Bison captain, Team Canada member, and Asper School of Business grad, Adam Henry, and we talk mental health. Welcome back to Wednesdays with Wilfred. I'm your host, Wilfred Samking, a proud University of Manitoba grad, former Bison athlete, and this week we sit down and we talk. So this week is very important with it being Bell Let's Talk. As an athlete, how important was it for you to have those tough conversations with either your teammates or even yourself, and how the Bison sports and the University of Manitoba allow you to amplify your voice and have these very important conversations?
It's a good question. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm happy to catch up with you. Long time Bison kind of friends, I guess you could say. So it's nice to
Yeah.
chat. Yeah, I think it was huge. I think in my time at the U of M, I mean, every year around Bell Let's Talk time, it became a really, in the public talked about thing. But I honestly, in my entire time there, I was a member of the UMAC Council. It was something that we talked about all the time. And then within our team and the teammates and friendships that you make while you're at university, I mean, you are going through such a grind with school and practice and travel and playing and family life and whatever else is going on. But the bonds you have with your teammates, I think, I have friends that I'll have for life from those times with the Bisons, and we always were there to lean on each other. And I think that right off the bat is one thing. And then the programs that I was in, I mean, I played hockey, you were on the track team. I'm sure you'd probably say the same thing, but the coaching staffs that we had in my 5 years, the mental health side of things. And I mean, Mike Sarant, the head coach of the hockey team, I can't give him enough credit. He does care about his players, and he wants to make sure his players are doing well outside of hockey. And I think that made a world of difference. I can't imagine playing 5 years of university sports with a coach who's grinding me every single day, screaming in my face, beating me down. I honestly don't think I could have done it. So I think the U of M did a great job as far as having outlets and good people in place to have those conversations and just show you the right way.
That speaks volumes, especially coming from you, who got drafted in the WHL at such a young age, 14 or 15, got shipped off to Lethbridge, then got shipped off to Seattle, then got shipped
Yeah,
off
but
to
man, a bit of a
Portland.
suitcase, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a suitcase. So was that the same experience everywhere you went? Did you have that community support that the University of Manitoba provided?
I would say I always felt I had the support from teammates. That never goes away in sport. And one of the things that now that I'm not playing competitively anymore for the first time, that's something I miss. It's just that camaraderie and that teamness. I would say though that, and maybe I'm dating myself, making myself feel old, but
We're
I look
both
back.
old.
Yeah, I look back on some of those teams, and it's changed. Even in the, like you said, I was drafted to the Western League almost 12 years ago. Competitive sports and hockey for sure has changed. I think from the moment I entered the Western League till now, how coaches treat their players and what's accepted has changed. And I definitely played in some spots where it was the status quo that the coach could be a bully to his players and really beat them down. And if you didn't have what it takes to withstand that, you couldn't make it. And that's just how it was. And everyone thought that was okay. And just in the last 10 years, especially the last 5 years, that's really changed. Like, you don't see that anymore. And those coaches are fewer and far between. And I think the game and sport and just human beings in general are going to be better for that. So yeah, I would say the way it was at the U of M and how Mike handles his players wasn't necessarily how I experienced it my whole way through.
And I'm happy to hear that, especially because it was very important to get those conversations started. I know it's such a big day, but what you had to do was continue that through your 5 years and really connecting with your teammates and other players and other athletes from different teams. So do you still use those self-help tools in your day-to-day as now a trailblazing financial advisor?
Yeah. Trailblazing advisor. I like that. That's I should pay you for that
Yeah,
advertising.
I got you. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I do. I think, like I already said, I mean, I definitely do miss. Well, there's two things that I miss from competitive sport. I mean, being a pandemic era makes it even more amplified. Is the being with the teammates and then the physical activity. Those are two things that are great for your mental health and well-being, just being able to blow off some steam, get some physical activity, and then do it with a bunch of your friends. And I just haven't been able to do that, so I missed that. But as far as things that, I did elsewhere to learn about, leadership tactics and well-being and wellness, all these different things. I did a lot of reading. I listened to a ton of podcasts, and I think that makes a huge difference. And as soon as I started doing that, like actually just trying to better myself in any way, not just, what I'm reading in a textbook, but also just, the way you think, the way you look at life, the way you communicate with people, like just trying to learn all these different things. And I mean, I know you've said some nice things and about what I did as far as leadership and everything, but I still, like, as I grow, I always look back and just think that there was so many times in my 5 years at the Bisons where I handled a situation, incorrectly, or I wish I had handled it differently, like how I treated a younger player or how I treated a teammate in a situation. There's so many, over 5 years, there's so many things that can happen. It's impossible to do the right thing all the time. And so for me, it's just, reflection on those times and just trying to learn from them. And if I get in a situation like that, which likely I won't be in a situation where I'm the captain of a hockey team again, but if it ever happens, I hope.
Well,
that,
there's always beer league, right?
There's always beer league. Yeah. I don't know if it'd be a shameful thing to put a C on my jersey in beer league, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
We'll conclude with the question that I ask everyone that comes here, but with a little bit of a twist. Knowing everything that you know now, what is advice that you would give to young Adam Henry coming into University of Manitoba in 2021, who's a little bit frightened, who may have not had such easy paths transitioning out of this pandemic to moving into university life?
Interesting. That's a good one. Well, the cliche one obviously is from an enjoyment perspective, and I lean on this one all the time. Is you don't really realize how fast things go by. Like, it just seems like just yesterday I was starting my career as a Bison, and now it's over, and I don't get that opportunity to do it every day. So if I could put myself back in those shoes, I would just say, hey, like, just keep in mind that you don't get to do this every day, and enjoy every moment, because I know that you know this, and I've said this many times to younger athletes at different events whatsoever, is that when you're in it, when you're busy and you're going through this grind, and especially when you get to school and you tack on the stress of exams and everything, there are moments and days where you're like, what is the point? Why am I doing this? I'm not enjoying this. Like, what the heck am I doing? And if you can just remove yourself from that negative place in your head and just realize that what you're doing is actually really fun and you truly do enjoy it, you're gonna have a lot more fun and you're gonna enjoy every day a lot more. I mean, I like to think I live life to the fullest, but I still wish I could go back and do it even better.
On behalf of the University of Manitoba External Relations, Alumni Relations, Adam, Asper School of Business grad, former Bison hockey captain, former Team Canada member, thank you so much for joining us today. And we got to keep in touch more because, it's been too long.
Yes. Well, thanks for having me. And if I need a personal hype man, I know where to come looking.